If you ask me to name the single habit that causes the most problems in home gardens, it would not be bad soil. It would not be the wrong crops. It would not be pests, disease, or poor spacing. It would be watering, specifically how people water, because most gardeners water in a way that actively creates the problems they spend the rest of the season trying to fix. Overhead watering spreads fungal disease. Shallow daily watering keeps roots weak and dependent. Evening watering leaves moisture sitting on foliage overnight, which is exactly the environment that blight, mildew, and rot need to establish. Inconsistent watering leads to blossom end rot in tomatoes, bitter cucumbers, cracked fruit, and stress signals that attract pests. Almost all of these issues trace back to water, not too much or too little, but applied at the wrong time in the wrong way to the wrong part of the plant. I dealt with every one of these problems in my first few seasons, and I treated each one separately. I sprayed for disease, added calcium, watered more when plants wilted. None of it worked long term because I was treating symptoms while the cause, my watering method, and he stayed the same. The season I changed how I watered was the season most of those recurring problems disappeared. Not reduced, disappeared. In this video, I'm going to show you the watering system that prevents most garden problems before they start, how to set it up for under $30, and the 3 rules that make it work. Stay to the end, because the third rule is the one most gardeners get backwards, and it's the single biggest cause of weak plants and wasted water. The system is simple. Drip irrigation at the base of your plants controlled by a timer set for early morning, no overhead sprinklers, no hand watering from above, no evening soaking, just a soaker hose or drip line running along the base of each row, connected to a timer that turns on before sunrise and shuts off after delivering a deep soak. This works because it controls the 3 variables that cause most garden problems: where the water goes, when it arrives, and how deep it penetrates. First, where? Drip irrigation delivers water directly to the root zone at the soil surface. No water touches the leaves and no water splashes soil upward. That removes the 2 main pathways for fungal disease: wet foliage that stays damp long enough for spores to germinate, and soil splash that carries pathogens onto lower leaves. Diseases like early blight, powdery mildew, and leaf spot all depend on moisture sitting on the leaf surface. When water never reaches the leaves, those diseases lose their primary entry point. Second, when? The timer delivers water early in the morning, ideally before 6 or 7 a.m., giving plants a full day to absorb moisture before heat increases evaporation. Any surface moisture dries quickly. Compare that to evening watering, where moisture lingers through cool overnight hours, the exact conditions disease thrives in. Morning watering is not just convenient, it's a built-in prevention system, and once it's on a timer, it happens automatically whether you remember or not. Third, and this is where most people get it wrong, depth matters more than frequency. Most gardeners water lightly every day. A quick spray, a short soak, just enough to wet the surface, but that moisture evaporates within hours and never reaches the root zone where plants actually need it. Instead, it trains roots to stay shallow, clustered in the top few inches of soil where conditions fluctuate constantly. That creates plants that wilt easily, stress quickly, and depend entirely on frequent watering to survive. Deep watering changes that completely. When water is delivered slowly over 30 to 60 minutes, it soaks 6 to 10 inches into the soil. Roots follow that moisture downward into cooler, more stable conditions that don't dry out as quickly. Plants with deeper roots handle heat better, survive gaps between watering, and access nutrients that shallow roots never reach. The rule is simple: water deeply 2 to 3 times per week instead of lightly every day. Each session should fully saturate the root zone, then allow the surface to dry slightly before the next cycle. That drying period isn't a problem. It's what forces roots to grow deeper. When the surface is constantly wet, roots have no reason to move down. When it dries, they chase the moisture below, and that's what builds resilience. Setting this up is straightforward and inexpensive. You need a soaker hose or drip line, a basic battery-operated timer, and a few connectors. A 50-foot soaker hose typically costs under $12, and a timer runs about 15 to 20. Lay the hose along the base of your plants, weaving it through the bed so it runs within a few inches of each stem. In a standard raised bed, one line is usually enough. Connect it to your water source through the timer, set it to run early in the morning, and start with a duration of 30 to 60 minutes depending on your soil. Then check your depth. Push your finger or a stick into the soil. If it's moist 6 to 8 inches down, you're set. If not, adjust the timing. Once dialed in, you rarely need to touch it again. Then add a layer of mulch over the soil, 2 to 3 inches of straw, leaves, or similar material. This is critical. Mulch slows evaporation, stabilizes soil temperature, and keeps moisture in the root zone longer. Without it, much of your water is pulled back to the surface and lost. With it, that same water stays where it matters. Drip plus mulch is one of the most efficient systems you can run, often using significantly less water while producing better results because every drop is directed where plants actually use it. Once this system is in place, the difference shows up quickly. Plants that used to wilt hold steady through heat. Leaves stay cleaner because they're not constantly splashed with soil. Fruit develops more evenly without cracking from sudden water swings. Common issues like blossom end rot often disappear because moisture stays consistent at the root level, and the daily effort of hand watering, 10 or 15 minutes here and there, disappears completely. Over a full season, that's hours of labor replaced by a simple system that runs on its own. But more importantly, the garden becomes stable. You're no longer reacting to problems week after week. The conditions plants depend on, moisture, root health, nutrient flow, stay consistent. And when those conditions are stable, most of the problems people associate with gardening never show up in the first place because they were never plant problems. They were water problems. And once the system fixes that, everything else starts working the way it was supposed to. And one final piece that ties all of this together is observation. Even with a system in place, your garden is constantly giving you feedback, not through dramatic failures, but through small signals. Leaves that lose firmness slightly earlier in the day, soil that dries a little faster in one section of the bed, or plants that grow slightly uneven compared to others. These are not problems yet, they're early indicators. When you notice them and adjust, adding a few extra minutes to your watering cycle, shifting a line closer to a plant, or reinforcing mulch in a thinner area, you keep the system balanced before anything actually breaks down. That's what separates a system that works from a system that keeps working. It's not about constant effort. It's about small corrections at the right time. And when you combine consistent watering, proper depth, mulching, and simple observation, you don't just prevent problems, you stay ahead of them entirely.